Over is almost.
When are you writing your first test?
Well, okay, maybe like next week, I think.
And which subject is it?
I don't know. They just said the day it's gonna start. They didn't set that it's gonna be math or science or whatever.
Oh, okay. So they just announced it, but they haven't said basically which subject or what it is about.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jenny, today we're going to talk about. Remember the last time we spoke about rural and urban areas. What is the difference between rural and urban?
Urban have lots and lots of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And rural area is just quite a few people. In urban area is have tall buildings and lots of crowded houses or anything that's filled with people. But rural area is typically just like it's kind of too close to a White House place, you know.
Is it more on the countryside or the city side, the rural?
It's more of a countryside.
Yeah. Okay, so Jenny, now, based on what you can remember, think about the similarities. So you have to think of what similarities do both of these areas have in common, and then also what differences do they have. So you have to think about the 5 differences for each, okay? And then in the middle, you're going to write 3 similarities. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that. You can type it on the screen for us.
So the urban area is they have many people. Many people, and rural area is just quite the opposite. It's few people. Also, I am glad that I just actually done my homework just now.
Yeah?
Because, well, my brain just exploded. So I'm just trying my best to think of many things. So it could be many people, so lots of tall building.
There we go.
And it's kind of like a White House place. You do know a White House, but you know?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Do you know
great.
where the White House is?
Well, it's kind of like too perfect to be reality. It's kind of a house that's just all white, and next to them is also a White House, but they're kind of more different color. But it's like we have a park in front of the house. A house that's very big. It have trees, bushes. It depends.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a White House. In urban area is that there are not too many animals live in there. In the rural area is like sometimes Sometimes what is those names? Sometimes a dangerous animal. I do know that name, but actually my brain exploded from that time. Animals could appear.
Yeah. In the area.
At someone's house. Or someone park. Someone, yeah. They appear. I did know that I am writing wrong. So sorry. And the urban area is that we could go any places. I know it's easy. Places easily. We could go at any places easily. And rural area is that it's quite hard to visit the place that you wanted.
Well done, Jenny. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Only 4. And the last one is that. What is the last one? The urban area is that. It's rare to see. It's rare to see a backyard at someone's place. I think. Is it though?
Repeat that again, Jenny.
It's rare to see a backyard at someone's house. Is that it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Rare to see a backyard. A backyard at someone's house. Someone. Oh wait. In the rural area is that it is quite simple. Wait. That's a Q, not a U. Quite simple to see. To make our own pond. Is it right? In the middle of it's gonna be at least those places have people.
Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so talk me through the rural area.
Can you say that again?
Okay, so can you tell me what is the difference between a rural area and an urban area based on the notes you made?
Now, the rural area and the urban area is quite opposite, but kinda. I know it makes sense, but that's how I would say. So the rural area is that it's have fewer people living there, and it's kinda almost like a White House, if I could say. When you see one, then you know it. And also sometimes when in the middle of the night or any day, they could sometimes have dangerous animal appear at your house or someone's house, like your neighbor's house. And it's weird to see a random bear, but that's how rural area would be if I could know. And it's quite hard to visit a place that you wanted. Oh wait, can I think of that again? It is depend. Sometimes I did, sometimes I did see some rural area and shopping mall is quite very, very far away. So it's quite a long mile to go by bus, especially just go by your own car. And it is also simple to make our own pond. The reason I said that is because that when you have a rural area and a White House, then you immediately know that you already have a backyard. So you can just make your own pond.
I like that. Well done, Jenny. And what would you say, what are the similarities of rural and urban?
The rural and urban, I think the quite similarity is that
think about power, think about electricity, think about food, think about schools, things that both would need.
Okay, rural area and urban area doesn't mean that they are quite kind of opposite, doesn't mean that they have education. Each person lives in each places, so they could learn by themselves, even though they are new to different kinds. So at first, at the start, the download is not very good unlike other people, but doesn't mean like all people would be the same. Their talent is just, not very growing. So even though how much they try their best, doesn't mean the places is not the best from our places. Doesn't mean like doesn't mean that they live in different places that is more different than our places. Doesn't mean that they could have the IQ that we all have it. It's just that they just have to try their best, even though how hard they try. And
perfect. And that's good, Jenny. Like any other similarities that you can think of?
Rural area and urban area have foods. And when we live in urban area, we know that different foods, and we know that all food in every place is same and nothing new. But when you go to different places, the food and the tastes are just so different. Sometimes you even hate it, but sometimes it's just the best.
Yeah, well said, Jenny. You did it. You outdone yourself in this task, especially from the previous one. And I can really see that you can remember what we have discussed and with the video clips that we watched from last time. Now, in your opinion, why do you think so many people want to live in the city?
It's most likely to be based on by the company that they are about to go, or they just wanted to visit their family or their sibling or any person that's close to be, well, the bestie or a family, or they just want to go there because they just want to visit the place that they always dream of and visit the person that they want to meet.
And do you think it is good to live in a city, in your opinion, or do you think it's better to live on the countryside, the rural areas?
It all depends, but I think it's good to live in a city, except that sometimes some people in the city are not very that understandable, even though you are the best at many different things, but one mistake, people gonna give you a side eye, like, come on, it's just one mistake. And I know it's sad to know, and it's quite embarrassing, if I could say, but still, sometimes when you got in danger, some people, like a random stranger, even though you don't know them, they still could help you in any way though.
Yeah, well said, Jenny. And what fun things can you do in the countryside?
You could
like
go,
the rural area.
Well, in the countryside, you could go fishing, you could go hunting, or you could go hiking, or any fun places you could even think of.
And which do you prefer, the city or the countryside?
Well, okay, I already live in the city, so why not the countryside? I mean, it seems quite peaceful.
It does. Okay, so Jenny, living in the rural area, rural or urban area, can you read for us the article? Then you are going to answer the question based on the article.
Okay, so the number of people living in cities is growing all the time. Over 80% of South Koreans live in urban areas. However, some people are moving back to the countryside. Is it better to live in the rural or urban area? Some people argue that the countryside is a wonderful place to reside. Okay. The first reason is that there's too much space. Rural areas have many fields, mountains, lakes, and rivers. People who live there feel less anxious and much healthier. The second reason is that it is less expensive to live in a rural area. Accommodations and foods are cheaper. For example, a large house with a garden is often cheaper than a small apartment in the city. Other people argue that city life is excellent to begin with, but urban areas are very exciting places to live. People who reside in cities can do something different every way. For instance, they can go to museum, movie theater, and concert. This is impossible for people who reside in rural areas. In addition, there are many jobs in the city. In fact, other best jobs are in urban areas. As a result, people move there so that they can be successful.
Nice. Now, can you please answer for us? You're going to type your answers for number 1 to 5 based on the article you read.
So, what percent of South Koreans live in urban areas? It is 80%.
Oh, well done. Well done, Jenny.
Percent. But where's the percent? It is 80%. Why is there a lot of space in rural areas? It's because that there are, now this is how I would think, there are less people that are now live in there. So the places is not really, growing like other city life. Growing. I'ma adjust and I can't. Okay, so what things are cheaper in rural area? Oh, that's easy. Food. Yeah. Food, electricity, etc. It's just etc. And what are urban areas exciting places to live? What are urban areas exciting places to live? I don't get it.
So why are urban areas exciting places to live? Based on the article you read, okay? So why are the urban areas exciting to live?
Oh, okay, I get it now. They can go to any place. I mean, that's the
There we go.
As they could go at any place. And do many fun, exciting No, I think that's all. And do many fun activity. I forgot. Activity. Why do people move to urban areas? So that they can make their business But I forgot how to spell business though.
B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S.
B-U-S-I-N. Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. B-U.
Okay.
S. Hi.
So business. Oh. Thank you. So that they can make their business more more famous. I mean, like, that's count. More famous. That's all I could think.
Well done, Jenny. That was really good. Okay, so you got all of the questions, the answers correct. Now, moving on to the vocabulary. So we got accommodations, anxious, impossible, reside, and urban. Okay, what does reside mean?
To live.
To
live. It's kind of like that.
To live. Okay, so can you complete number 1 to 5 for us?
Is when I'm older, I will reside by the ocean. I feel very blah 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 when there are too many people in the room. I feel very anxious. When there are too many people in the room. Problem affects cities and people living in them. Past. In many cities, it's very difficult to find accommodation. It is bad luck for human to visit the sun. It is impossible for human to visit the sun. Accommodations. In many cities, it is very urban problem. I feel anxious about this one. When I'm older, I will reside by the ocean. I feel very anxious when there are too many people in a room. Urban problem affects cities and people living in them. In many cities, it's very difficult to find accommodation. It's impossible for human to visit the sun. I think I'm done. I think so.
Well done. There we go. So, well done, Jenny. Moving on to the next part. Okay. So, supporting opinions. So, talking about cities and rural areas. Okay. So, you can imagine number 1 to number 4 with A, B, C, and D, the supporting part. Okay. And then once you are done, you're going to do the refuting as well. So, remember to pay attention to the information because you will need that for your debate.
Okay, so traveling in the city is very easy. People who live in the city can have more privacy. The countryside is much cleaner. It's much easier to sleep in rural areas because there are few factories, cars, and people. Because there are few factories. Is free because there's too much public transportation. Maybe pass because it's really dark in the way they could make noises. So it's much easier to live in rural areas because it's really dark in the way they make noises. Because nobody knows who they are. Maybe that. And the last one is this one. One is less stressful to live in the countryside. 2, the countryside is a great place for family to live. Cities are better places to live because there are so many things to do. There are so many kinds of foods to choose from in the cities. And it's great. People live in the city usually do only a few things, and there are not many exciting activities. So 3 is A. As a grade, there are few jobs and service in the countryside that's stressful. So 1 is B. I don't think so. Children will get bored in the countryside. They will be unhappy, and the family will also feel unhappy. So 2 is C. I don't think so. Not many restaurants in the city give us many kinds of food. So 4 is D. I'm done.
Perfect. Well done, Jenny. That was really good. Okay. So traveling in the city is very easy. Okay, because there's so much public transportation that helps it to make it easy. People who live in the city can have more privacy because nobody knows who they are. And in the countryside, it's much cleaner. Okay, because it's really dark. The country's much cleaner.
Wait, no, it's B. Three is B.
Okay. So why is it cleaner?
3 is A, sorry. Because, yeah.
Right, there we go. And it is much easier to sleep in rural areas.
Is C.
C, because it's darker. Okay, so that's the only one I would change. And in the refuting part, it is less stressful to live in the countryside. Okay. I disagree. There are fewer jobs and service in countryside that is stressful. Well done, because it's about talking about stress. The countryside is a great place for families to live. I don't think that children will get very bored in the countryside. They will unhappy families are feeling unhappy. Great, okay. And then cities are better place to live because there are so many things to do. Okay. What about, would you say 3 might be C?
Well, C is a better place to live because there's too many things to do.
Because they're talking about live, okay?
Live. But it's about family though.
Ah, so exactly. So well done, Jenny. That's correct. Okay, now moving on to the next part. Once again, very important. When we do the supporting opinion and opposing opinion, we highlight the two statements, and then also you're going to underline for me in a different color the two opinions and the supporting opinions with the examples. Okay, so you got this. I'm going to just make it a tiny little bit larger. There we go.
So, okay. It's much better to live in urban areas is the main part. And the first reason is that it's easy to travel. That's the main opposing. Supporting is residents can use buses, trains, subways, or taxis. Public transportation in cities is cheap and everyone can be used day and night. However, the countryside has a very bad public transportation and everyone needs to use the cars to travel. And that's supporting. Opposing opinion is the second. Wait, I'm a change color. The second reason is that people who live in cities can have more privacy. Supporting one is much better when people don't know everything about us. In rural areas, there are not many people and everyone knows everything about each other. Opposing opinion is much better to live in rural area. That's the main one. Opposing, the main reason is that the countryside is much cleaner than the city. Opposing one, there are fewer factories, cars, and people. As a result, try. And as a result, there is very little pollution. This is much healthier than living in dirty cities. Opposing one is another reason is that the countryside is not relaxing. And opposing one is much quieter and much darker at night time. People who live in the countryside can sleep very well and have more energy. People who get enough rest are less likely to get sick too. It is much healthier for people to live in the countryside. I'm done. And I got an answer.
So what do you think based on these opinions, Jenny? Okay, is it much better to live in an urban area or in a rural area?
I mean, in rural area, there's so much more exciting places to do. Also, we could do anything that we couldn't go in the city places because, well, you know, we have to walk in a long mile to do what we wanted. But the rural areas, we can do fun activity that we can just do immediately. Like make ourselves a pun.
Yes. Okay, that was good, Jenny. I like it. Now, let's have a look at the next part. So let's quickly discuss the following questions. That was really good, Jenny. Okay, so in your opinion, do you like taking the bus? Do you like taking the bus in the city, or do you prefer using a scooter or a motorbike in the countryside?
I do prefer using car in the countryside because it's quite more peaceful and I don't have to fight my life for the seat. Because, well, as we can say, buses have many people. So that means seats are easily get taken, so I will stand there and my legs will suffer. So I would like using my own car, and I would like to do, well, have my own car, have my own view, and have my own control.
Yes. And tell me, Jenny, which is more important, having a good job or living in a clean environment?
Having a good job. Because,
and why?
Well, by having a good job, it means like you have lots of money, right? So having lots of money, you can help other people who are in need. So we could change the life to make it better.
Yes, absolutely. And if we have a good job, can we eventually can we contribute in having a cleaner environment?
Yeah, if we have the money too.
That's a good point. And do you want to live in a larger house in the countryside, or do you prefer living in a modern apartment in the city?
I mean, like, I do prefer a larger house in the countryside because, well, I do have an idea that I grow up, I will have my own pets and I have my own family. Well,
I like.
It's just that we can have our own control in our own houses, but also at the same time we could also plant new. Okay, we can plant new flowers, fruits, and anything in our garden, at our backyard, because, well, the places look sweet and beautiful, and so does the air, and you can just pick the fruits out and don't have to buy it because, you know, sometimes it could be expensive.
Yeah, it can. And would you plant your own fruit and veg if you live in the countryside?
I would do.
Okay, fantastic. And then, do you think it is easy for people to raise in the countryside or not?
It depends. I mean, like, sometimes people in the countryside could have a house, but sometimes the house could be in the middle of the woods. So that means we have to be very careful of the dangerous animal that's outside. But some people who live in the countryside would live in a white house, so maybe that's count.
Yeah, definitely. And people who live in the city don't know many people. But people who live in the countryside know many people. Which is better?
I prefer to people who live in the city don't know many people because, well, sometimes if they know me, then they probably know my houses and my address. So, yes, I would like to have a customer or any person will come to my house and live at my house for a few days before they would go back to their homes because why all that. But I would don't like a person that know everything about me just go to my house for no reason.
Yeah, very true. I agree with you on that one. Okay, so Jenny, now, Number one, is it much better to live in a rural area? Number two, is it better for families with young children to live in a city? So let's have a look at number two. Is it better for families with young children to live in a city? So do you want to refute this or do you want to support this?
I'm a refute.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 1 minute to prepare and then you're going to tell me two reasons. You're going to make your statement and give me examples as well. Okay. Or if you're ready, you can start.
Okay, I'm ready. It is better for family with young children to live in the city. Well, to me, I refute. Because sometimes family with young children live in the city. Sometimes the city would have like all the things that is now is like technology, and kids could get their heads and eyes into it, and their personality would change day by day. Their voice could like be the opposite what they are before. Their personality could be like an old grumpy woman. Yeah. And sometimes families would have a big argument over just silly little things because just they changed by technology. But living in rural places is that families could teach their children how to hunt or how to learn things when they step up out of their young life. Like being adults, you have to do everything by yourself and without any other people helps. So family could teach their young children by hunting or anything they will see outside and how they would live. And in the rural places, we could go hiking, camping, and other new exciting activity. Is because that we could bring our children to go there. So in the future, our children could be an adult and have their own family. So that means they will be like us. It's like a loop, but more sweet.
Right, fantastic. That was really good, Jen, and I like the way you gave examples. That was really good because you because you believed in refuting it and you made it strong and believable and gave good reasons why. That was really, really good, Jenny. So tell me, Jenny, did you enjoy today's session?
Yeah.
Okay, now you're going to tell me, do you want to do number 1 or 3 for homework?
Number 3.
Guys, so in the future, more people will live in the countryside. Okay, so you are going to refute and support this. So Jenny, well done on a great session. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Con giữ mic đó để là khoảng 10 phút sau rồi vô cái kia.